This game tonight starts a very busy but important period in Gregg Popovich's season this time around. Very close in the table, 1 point in it, and Manchester United have Crystal Palace tonight, Manchester City in a few days' time, followed by Leicester in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and then a trip to Arsenal, or from a visit from Arsenal, the one of the very few teams that Gregg Popovich has beaten this year. Or hasn't beaten, actually, as we got the better of him in the first Premier League fixture. Well, that Manchester derby is certainly a red circle in Gregg Popovich's kind of plans. So he's gone for a rather younger squad than he would be expected to. One person in particular actually makes his return to the club that he left a couple of seasons ago to join Popovich. Gucci is in goal for Crystal Palace with Ward, Tompkins, Sissoko and Schulp. The midfield of them is Coyote with MacArthur, Mangulicic and Mangilio. Then Christian Benteke is with, I believe it's Andre Ayew up front to try and get some goals. Coach Popovich's squad is quite interesting. Joel Pereira actually starts in goal tonight. Darmian is with Bailly, Harry Maguire and Diego Dallo, so he's certainly not going light with the defence today. Herrera is with Gomez and McTominay in the middle. It's a front three, with Wilfried Zaha making another visit to his former club. Steve Chung's on the other side, and target man Danny Williams is up top by himself. McTominay, well played. And that is the end of the first half. It has been a tight-nick affair, to be honest. No real clear-cut chances leading to a chance on goal. There was one by Tahir Chong, who has been the star of the night so far, but he hasn't really released in any goals for him. And Gregg Popovich will take all the points he can get, considering this stage of the season. Palace 0, Manchester United 0. That really looked more like a corner to me. Herrera. Nanu. Oh, off the post! And back in by Benteke, and Pereira, brilliant save. Nanu takes a great shot here. Pereira is seeing stars, and then Benteke with an instant volley pushed out by Joel Pereira. And it's just another great performance in this young lad's career. He's really having another good season, isn't he? You have to wonder, is he in line for the #1 spot in Manchester United's future? We talk about David De Gea a lot in transfer talk, but maybe something would happen before then. But I think at the end of the day, you're going to play David De Gea, aren't you? Best in the world considered. But Joel Pereira is really looking like a great #2. Coyote puts it over the bar. And Pereira, like we said, looking like a great #2 at the moment. And poor clearance there by McTominay. Caught in possession. Here's Joel Nanu with a cross. And in towards Benteke. And Joel Pereira has been tremendous. That is a great save. And it wasn't Benteke. It was on the volley. Joel Pereira, fantastic save. This kid is on it this season again. Oh my goodness, what a save by Pereira. And it's still 0-0. This game is definitely livened up in the second half. Looping high ball. And he'll be back in as well. And Julo back in. Bailly heads in, and Joel Pereira keeps it out again, only just. Williams. Gomez. And here comes Angel Gomez. He's going to cut inside. Great goal by Angel Gomez, 1-0. And finally Manchester United break through. And it's Angel Gomez. What a goal. And you always knew what he was going to do. The defender was caught in rings. And goal for United. It didn't really look like there was going to be one scored this evening, because the goalkeepers have been great. But Gomez, great cutting. And he took advantage of sidestepping his man and creating the space for himself. And that is just a great curated shot there by Gomez, much like Coach Popovich's NBA days, when the likes of Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili used to create so many wonderful open shots for themselves. Angel Gomez has done the same for his first goal in the Premier League this season. But Manchester United, in a game where no goals look to be scored because the goalkeepers have been great, we have one, and it's Angel Gomez, and Manchester United may have just taken it. towards the end of the match. Palace 0, United 1, and maybe they'll probably go on from here and have another late game surge. But a couple of those this season early on, and that's a strange one. The referee certainly could be questioned with some of his decisions this evening. He's booked 2 players that didn't really look like being booked, but in any case, Manchester United take all 3 points thanks to a goal from Angel Gomez in the last 5 minutes of the game. And once again, Manchester United find a surge towards the end. In a game they didn't look like scoring, they've done it again. And they keep the pressure on Mauricio Sarri's Chelsea team. And like we said, this is an important period for Manchester United. They've got City next, followed by Leicester in the FA Cup. And then following that, Arsenal, one of the teams that has been able to beat Popovich this season, all without Marcus Rashford. They're scrapping through, but that will be all that counts as the scoreline at the end of 90 minutes. Today, Crystal Palace 0, United 1. They win again. Only 2 games coincided with our coverage today. Liverpool beating Watford by 3-1 in the end. While at the Cardiff City Stadium, my initial report was wrong of 1-0 to Cardiff. It is actually 2-0 to Everton then, as Cardiff's miserable season continues, and they are pretty much staring relegation in the face, as we have only got 9 games left. As far as the rest of the table is concerned, Manchester United have the lead back by 2 points, but Chelsea have yet to play later in the week. Everton are third thanks to their win at Cardiff today, and pretty much maybe solidifying their top 4 place. Manchester City have a crucial game against Manchester United coming up in the Manchester derby. If they lose that, they might have just lost their grip on the top 4, let alone the title, but that change probably ended months ago even. Liverpool 6th, Arsenal up to 7th. They won 3-1 against Wolves in the match yesterday. Burnley in 8th place with Wolves in 9th, and West Ham in 10th. The 8th, 9th and 10th positions solidified by teams you wouldn't really expect to be down there. It's a great effort from those teams in particular. Leicester them for Southampton, Brighton, Palace, Bournemouth, Watford and Huddersfield completing the rest of the safe zone. As far as the relegation zone is concerned, Fulham and Newcastle United are scrapping to keep in touch with Huddersfield as much as possible. Though Huddersfield now have a game in hand over Fulham and Cardiff in particular, but Newcastle have a game in hand over Fulham and Cardiff as well. Cardiff, well, they're only 14 points, and they have only got 14 points to gain. And if they don't hurry up, Cardiff could be relegated long before the season's over, actually. They've still got a chance of getting out, but every passing game, it's looking all the more slimmer. They've won only twice, drawn 8, and lost 20. It was a game that may have just changed the course of this Premier League season entirely. Talk about reversal of fortunes, but what will happen in this one? It could be yet another pivotal Manchester derby. It's next, live. Well, it's fair to say that the red side of Manchester has probably been looking forward to this rematch, because these two Manchester clubs have experienced a reversal of fortunes since the last time these two met. It turned out to be a rather pivotal matchup for maybe the wrong reasons in a way, because we all remember what happened. Kevin De Bruyne was the orchestrator of it with an own goal, which was rather unfortunate as he deflected in off him as a shot. After that, it ended as a 1-0 win for Manchester United. Since then, as you just seen, Manchester United have gone from strength to strength. Manchester City have plummeted. They were once, before the Manchester derby, they had a double point lead over the rest of the field. Now they're even out of the top 4. Now a starting goal for United today with Lindelof and Rowe Jones at the back as they're dubbed. Cameron Ward is with Pogba, Henwood, Sardes and Lingard in the midfield. With the loss of Marcus Rashford, means that Alex Hunter starts up top to date with Anthony Martial. Pep Guardiola's squad for today. Ederson starts in goal, and it's Kyle Walker with company, Otamendi and Fabian Delph in the defence today. Eriksen is with Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield 3. Front 3, Bernardo Silva with Gabriel Jesus and Leroy Sané. Let's not forget one noticeable absentee from the first Manchester derby is Sergio Aguero. He no longer plays for Manchester City after having one of the most shocking transfer sagas in very recent times, it has to be said, when he was transferred out of Manchester City and into the ever-loving arms rather of Real Madrid, who probably couldn't have wished to bag a better player. I think it was probably mostly due to the fall that Manchester City had experienced since their loss in the derby only by a goal to nil, which shouldn't have been totally demoralising, but it totally did demoralise that team. And they've been absolutely blown away by the loss of form that they've encountered. They're sort of getting it back now, but they're holding on to scraps of the top 4, and they were over 10 points clear at one point of the chasing pack at the top of the table. The reversal of fortunes for the Manchester clubs has been absolutely insurmountable. I mean, for Manchester United, in a way, it's all started last season when they employed Gregg Popovich in the first place, even though they finished 19 points behind Manchester City at the end of the day, or the end of May. They finished second, and the improvement was there, and the potential that Gregg Popovich kind of gave was evident. And it looked like being a runaway win for City, despite Gregg Popovich's best efforts. But now he's sitting at the top, 2 points clear of Chelsea, and Manchester City are outside the top 4 now. One man in particular, Joel Pereira, who's not playing in goal this evening. Leroy Sané is wide open goal. And what was that defended by United? Leroy Sané has scored for City. Redemption maybe for the loss earlier in the season, but the defending was awful. I mean, I think it was Lindelof. What is he doing? And a wicked cross, and no one's back to deal with Sané at all. Lindelof should have been much closer than that. He's lost Leroy Sané there. Simple header. And David De Gea, again, no clean sheet. And you have to wonder, you do, don't you? You have to wonder whether Joel Pereira is a more viable option in goal, because right now David De Gea is just struggling to keep a clean sheet, to keep the goals out for Manchester United. You have to wonder whether the rise of Joel Pereira is getting to David De Gea a little bit. And back to, I think it was Pogba or Hunter, and immediately back on the attack, and Hunter was offside anyway. But you have to wonder now whether the rise of Joel Pereira is starting to mess with David De Gea's head a little bit, because he's just struggling under Coach Pop to keep a clean sheet, while Joel Pereira is just going about his business, quite frankly. And Ward, and 1-2 there with Pogba. It's not often you say that Alex Hunt has been pocketed by someone, but today it seems to be the case. Well, Manchester United definitely not firing on all cylinders today. They've just not been able to have a clear-cut chance, but the defensive misjudgment by Victor Lindelof led Leroy Sané to have a free header into the back of the net, and it's exactly the same score that it was at the end of the last matchup, only this time it's City's way. In the Manchester derby, United 0, City 1. Oh, on Lingard there with the challenge on Lingard. Passing Lingard, Callum Green into the box, in towards Hunter. What a brilliantly taken goal that is. Alex Hunter scores a belter, and again it's in the final 5 minutes for Manchester United. Yet again, they surge at the end. Brilliant cross from Gribbin, and even better shot from Alex Hunter. An absolutely stunning strike. Edison, not a chance. Another piece of the Hunter legacy in a stunning goal. And that Hunter strike force is definitely in Alex's blood. You can definitely tell that. What a strike, and it deservedly puts Manchester United level. They haven't really deserved it tonight, Manchester United, but they'll take it. United 1, City 1. And 1-0 here in this second derby of the season. It's probably not what Manchester United really deserve. They didn't really play well this evening at all. But they will take it. Headed goal by Leroy Sané, cancelled out by a magnificent strike from Alex Hunter of a brilliant Callum Gribbing cross. But really, did they deserve it? I don't think so. But Manchester United continue to pile on the points in a tough period for them. But how much will they have left in the tank for the FA Cup quarter-final? Have they used it all up in this one? Only time will tell. But for today, the points are shared in the derby this time. United 1, City 1. Well, there were no matches coinciding with our coverage this evening, but there were 3 the following day. Fulham beating Liverpool by 2-1 in a bit of a shock result at Craven Cottage. Bournemouth drawing with Newcastle by a goal apiece, and Spurs beating Palace by 4-0. Now, the table is a bit unusual looking at the moment. There's plenty of others who have games in hand. Some have played more than one. It's looking a bit congested, but this is what we can make right now. So Chelsea now have a game in hand over Manchester United, and they have a 4-point gap over the two of them at the moment. Spurs have all of a sudden looking like they might have a chance, but points are running out. It does look like it might just be a 2-horse race at the end. Everton down to 4th. Manchester City's point does very little for much of anything at all. In fact, I think they might be pretty much out of the title race at this point. They're now 12 points back from the leaders, and they have got less than 30 to gain now. So, actually, I think they're still in the 20s, to be fair. There's a lot more points on offer they can count. That's my poor maths. Liverpool in 6th, followed by Arsenal in 7th, Burnley 8th, Wolves 9th, and West Ham in 10th. That's the top 10 for you. Leicester 11th, Southampton 12th, Brighton 13th, Palace 14th, Bournemouth 15th, Watford 16th, and Huddersfield 17th. No real changes from last time out there, and the same in the relegation zone, although Fulham's win against Liverpool has put them within ever-reaching distance of safety. All of a sudden, Newcastle down in 19th, and Cardiff still rooted to the bottom after their most recent loss against Everton, which we reported on last time.